This presentation is brought to you by Smoooth Productions.
Welcome to another edition of your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. What's going on, y'all? It is your boy Smooth. Welcome to another edition of your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. Another amazing week and amazing weather. It's getting warmer, y'all. I think we're done with the waking up and it be 20 degrees outside or some frost outside on the grass and everything. It's official now. It's getting warmer. More rain right now, but the weather is feeling great and the sports are staying busy. This is probably one of the best times of the year. This period right here, from basketball playoffs to NHL playoffs to Major League Baseball going on. I mean, there's a whole lot of sports to talk about, and that's why we have this show. So we need everyone to go ahead and like and share this stream right now with the peoples and let everyone know about the Platform Sports Talk Show. Go ahead and make sure you give us a follow all across social media. Just put in the Platform Sports Talk Show on Facebook, on the X, as Bunny likes to say, formerly known as Twitter. You have Instagram. You have, of course, YouTube. Go on and subscribe and click on that bell so anytime we go live, you will be notified. Also, we have an email address, platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. If you are someone that maybe interested in having their stories told in regards to sports, or you want to come out to an amazing event and hold things down, shoot us an email, platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com, and we got you. If you can't see us, you can also listen in to us on Hot 365 Radio, where it is always hot. You can download the app, Google Play, or the App Store, and you're good to go. You can also check us out on twitch.tv/Hot365 Radio. And you can also catch the replay of our most recent show each Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Every first Wednesday of the month, we have Ladies Night. It's the best panel of ladies who love sports. And every last Wednesday of the month, you have the Man Cave, where anything can, and I mean anything, can go down in the Man Cave. Then outside of sports, you have another baby of mine, Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. Check it out, YouTube. Smooth Conversations. Give it a follow. Make sure y'all put in that third O and smooth, y'all. Put it on YouTube. Subscribe. Click on that bell. Matter of fact, it's going down live tomorrow. You'll be seeing some stuff very soon. So make sure y'all follow Smooth Conversations on YouTube. And you can also listen in on Beat District Radio. That's KBDR, Beat District Radio. Go to the website, beatdistrictradio.com. Or you can download their app. Once again, they're like Hot 365 Radio, where you can go to Google Play or the App Store, put in Beat District Radio, and you'll see the logo and download it. And just like Hot 365 Radio, the quality is amazing. So, whole lot going on with yours truly, but it's a blessing. I'm glad to do what I'm doing. And I'm not alone, of course. Got to go ahead and bring in the first panelist for the evening, holding things down right now with the freaking frack. She had to be a referee earlier, but I think she's back. She took off her referee shirt for right now and put on the sports talk show shirt. So she's back at it. She's ready to rock and roll. She's the host of Ladies Night, a woman that I've known My. I gotta ask her how long has it been? I know since definitely like high school, and that's been like over 20 years ago. So yeah, we older. We ain't old, but we just older. There we go. Bunny, what's happening?
Hey, I got it, y'all. No mute, no mute. I got it.
You got it right the first time. Like this. Congratulations. She made it.
Big feat.
She made it. So yeah, like I was saying, I feel like we know each other since high school. So I know it's had to be like over 20 something years.
Yes. And you can't ask me when we crossed paths because I don't recall. You know that. But yeah, definitely over 20 years. How old am I? Yeah, that's crazy.
It is. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know that I had my 20-year reunion already, a while back. Let's see, what's it, 2025? So yeah, 25 years ago.
Right.
Ain't that crazy? 25 years ago, we were in high school.
My age. So good what you said. We older, but we wiser, and we still looking good for our age, right?
There we go. Still holding things down. Still holding it down. Let me see who's commenting right now. Shouts out to Miss Dub, our favorite fan.
Hey, Miss Dub.
And yeah, but like I always think about this, Bunny. Anytime you on the show, how you and I used to talk about doing our own sports talk show. But like back then, it was like being on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Compared to what we're doing now, and glasses are off now. It's serious.
Crack over here wants to clean my glasses. That's her task.
Make sure that you're right for for the 4K, for the HD. You know what I'm saying? For the whole world can see everything. But no, just thinking about how you and I used to have the conversations back in the day about having some kind of show talking about sports, and look at us now. Ain't that crazy?
I know, yeah. You really taking it back down memory lane here now. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Yeah, especially when you was at the house in U City.
Yep, that's it.
Over there. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yes, taking it back, sir. But yes. Good conversations we had talking about sports and stuff. And of course, anomaly because not too many women was in that space back then, and let alone for me to talk to people about sports that, I didn't have any ladies really, so I had to talk with the fellas.
Right. And as y'all can tell, she know her stuff, y'all. So it's amazing. Up next, holding things down, her and her tribe on the Boondocks.
Got the tribe.
Yo, Bo, what's happening?
The tribe. I'm thinking Boondocks. We need to come up with something more hick, I guess, like me and my cattle or something. I don't know. But what's up? Happy Wednesday. Yeah, it's like you said earlier. Hi, Miss Williams. Weather's been nice, which I love it. Vernon cut the grass again for the second time this year. Yard looks great, and I think we're supposed to get more rain on Friday, sadly, but I'm over that part. But I'm just happy it feels good right now. I wore shorts and a t-shirt today.
Hey, same here.
Okay, got them legs out. Okay.
Who got them legs out? No, never stop playing. Look at money.
but yeah, it feels good. What's funny is it's easy for you guys to remember how many years, because it's like 2000. Well, it's been 25 years.
Exactly.
It's easy to remember.
But it had me thinking, like, wait a minute, it has been 25 years. Like, wait a minute, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Y'all old.
Man.
Really?
I graduated in 2012, I think. 2012? 11. I don't remember. 11 or 12. I think 12. And I also thought it was funny that Bunny's glasses are not broken today. That's new. That's breaking news. They took off and there was two thingies. What do you call
it? But they're still lopsided because of her. Come on. I'm sorry, you all. Excuse me.
It's all good.
You're good.
Yeah, so like I said, we're doing our thing right now, and thanks for being on the show. I know that you're going through a whole lot, getting ready to be mommy number 2, Jobo. So as always, I appreciate you.
Yeah, love being on the show, and like I said, I'll be on as long as I can handle it.
Long as I can handle it. All
Yeah.
right, well, let's go and get right into it. First topic is, of course, you now have my attention. What sports story or stories has your attention? Jobo, you up first.
Brendan mentioned it to me on Sunday, I think, and I had to find the tweet. But do we still call them tweets? Like, I'm just used to it.
Yeah, it's like now it's like considered post.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tweet. I don't know. Anyways, on X. But the week of April 14th, so Monday until Sunday, Major League umpires missed over 1,000 calls. That's bad. That's just in 1 week.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And I know I made a post on X about it on Sunday, and I wasn't even talking about the Cardinals game, but then later on that day, there was a couple of really bad calls against the Cardinals, and just inconsistency all around the league. It's been brutal. You got JT Realmuto throwing a huge fit, and that's not a guy that does that, just it's been brutal to watch. And I don't know, like you comment on it, like, are they just doing this because they know it's the ABS system's coming, and they're not going to have the final say on a lot of stuff maybe next year? But man, it's like there's some things that with all the new rule changes with baseball, I'm like kind of like, oh, I don't know if I like that or not. But after seeing it during spring training and just seeing how bad not even the first full month has been of baseball, I'm ready for it.
And as much as I talk about the human element in baseball, like in regards to like managers making decisions off of a human element and not analytics, it's the opposite when it comes to umpires, because you cannot have the human element to dictate the end of a game when the ball was clearly down the middle or clearly was outside the zone and you call it a strike. You know what I'm saying? Or when it's down the middle and you call the ball. That can affect a paycheck, a lifestyle, all kind of things because of the human element. Because every umpire, and I've always said this, every umpire should have the exact same strike zone. It shouldn't be because Laz Diaz is the umpire that be prepared to have low call strikes. Oh, well, because Angel Hernandez is doing it, prepare for far and away on the outside corner to be called a strike. It should be one generalized strike zone.
I think it was oh, please get out. Gosh, man, Jordan's barely missing these. No, I think it was it the Cardinals broadcast, or it might have even been like the Mets broadcast or something. They would always show before the game starts, like, this umpire usually is pretty, lenient with the pitchers, and usually they'll call the high pitch over the lower zone pitch and stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's crazy. I know, like, there are some umpires out there that were that Wayno had like a really good strike zone with and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just, it'd be hard for everyone to have the exact same consistent strike zone, because they're all set up differently. Some are shorter, some are taller, and this and that. So I get that if like it's like slightly off, but it's not even slightly anymore. It's night and day. It's been really, really bad. So
it has.
Just imagine next year the World Series game ends with the ABS call or something. Like how crazy that would be. But I mean, you want to get the call right at least 90% of the time.
Exactly.
It has to be right at least the majority of the time, and it has not been. So,
and
I don't know. It's been bad.
And it goes back to what I said before about holding umpires accountable. Like, how accountable is the league really doing for these, putting for these umpires? They
don't talk to media afterwards.
Exactly. So between that and it's like, they may get a grade, but if you know that you have a rep for calling terrible pitches, but it still continues to go on as if it's your first time, then it's not just the umps, it's the league that has a problem, because they're not addressing this and saying, we need to have one set strike zone, or be realistic. There need to be a time where umpire says, "Ball, I'm sorry, that was wrong. No, that was a strike." You know what I'm saying? Like, just make common sense of it. Bottom
Yeah.
line.
Like
But
it shouldn't be to where an average fan knows the names of Angel Hernandez, CB Buckner, Laz Diaz.
right.
Just an average fan shouldn't know those names, and that average fans know those names because of their reputation with either behind the plate or just calling, runners out on the base paths and stuff like that. So hopefully next year it's better. Good thing for a lot of teams that aren't playing good, it's only April. Bad thing about for everyone in baseball is we have a lot of baseball left to play before this is going to be fixed, and a consistent run of at least more than half called correctly.
And I can't recall who brought this up on the radio, but I feel the same way. I feel like the league, they're not going to announce it or put out there right now, but I believe the league itself is speeding up this process to have ABS coming not even next season. I have a feeling that it might come out maybe after the All-Star break. Like, that's how bad these umpires are getting, and they want to really rush this process to make sure that it is on point and that it can go ahead and be used as soon as it can before it continues to hit the fan, because this is super ridiculous. Like, I know Ali Marmol got ejected last night and probably could have again today when I think Jordan Walker, I can't count how many times he get cheated out of an at bat. Same thing with Lawrence Newbar getting cheated
I think that might be the reason why Walker has been slowly racking up on the Ks again. And there's things you can see with his batting stance and stuff that, it's like, okay, he's kind of fallen back into the habit of last year, which it's gonna happen. All these guys do that. Like Victor Scott, why did he take away the leg kick? No one knows why. But so they go through all these changes and stuff, but like Walker was having so many calls in multiple series, so it's not just one umpire of a baseball a foot out of the zone, and now you're seeing him wail away at a pitch outside the zone like crazy, and it's like, some of it's like, okay, he needs to work on that, but it could be he's getting called on it, so why not try? At least try to put the ball in play.
Yeah, it is to the point that we're not, or the league isn't rewarding people that have a good batting eye, because if you know that your batting eye is on point, that's when you can start being more aggressive on certain pitches. But if the strike zone is all over the place, like you just said, with Jordan Walker and other guys, it's going to make it harder for you to know, okay, what is the zone and what can I really do without taking away my strength, bottom line. So it's definitely a huge problem, and that's what ABS is for. And, you don't really hear about complaints in tennis and other, sports that's using this. I guess it is more so tennis that's using that system because this is right there. It tells you what's going on. So we just need a system in which everyone can trust, and it's going to make the game better because the right thing, like you said before, the right thing is being called. That's the reason why we have replay, even though sometimes on replay, calls still don't be right. But that's the reason why we have these things, because we need to get the call right, because it could change. It could be a whole domino effect in regards to everything.
At least with replay, they could say, oh, the call stands, and that just means there just wasn't enough conclusive evidence to show that, he was safer out, so it still annoys the hell out of me, because we're like, guys, it's right there. You're seeing it on this 100-foot screen, and I know New York has all these different views, this and that. But yeah, at least they tell you, pretty much a reason why.
So Ms. Dub says, what has her attention is the trouncing that the Memphis Grizzlies suffered at the hands of OKC, not just once, but 2 times. And Ms. Dub, yes, it's crazy. And we will get into that series during our NBA talk. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's definitely been all bad for Memphis. To me, I would say this. I feel like it's karma, but I'll get more into that later on. For myself, I have a few things. One, WrestleMania was this past weekend, and it was in Vegas, and it was amazing. A lot of great storylines, a lot of great matches. I think probably the best match of all was the women's match between Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. Y'all haven't seen it, go on YouTube, check it out, or go to Peacock, check it out. But both nights was amazing. The ending on night one with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Paul Heyman, another classic. Now the ending on night two with John Cena and Cody Rhodes.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, but Cena did say that he was not there to please everyone. And
I don't think it's people didn't like it because Cena won. I'm just tired of Steve and Travis Scott. Why is Travis Scott at the last two big events with John Cena? I don't like that.
Right, yeah. So that's what I was talking about. I want to talk about the result, but Cena winning. It's more so how it happened, because people were probably waiting on The Rock to come out, or they had other expectations, and it's a long story term in regards to the booking. I'll just say that there's more to it. So for people who's mad right now or were mad, like now they're over it. It's all good. But that moment, I understand why you be mad or like, hey, I wanted more. But just stay tuned for the long-term story booking.
I'm sure it'll change by the end of the year. But I hate that Cena is a heel right now. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like little kids look up to the guy. It's his last year. He's retiring. So I don't know. I hope that goes back to how it was before everything's said and done. But right now, apparently a lot of people like him as a heel. I'm not a big fan of it.
I mean, it was a long time coming for him to, be this person, and why not do it on the very last run that you have in your career? Switch it around, find a storyline that's going to keep people interested, in which it is. He's doing that. And, I think my wife and I was watching that pay-per-view when he did turn. And I was like, whoa.
I know, I hate it.
Like I was straight amp. She was right there with me. I was straight amp, like, he did it. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So that's what the WWE wanted. They're getting it. But I just feel like, they know what they're doing. Trust what Triple H and The Rock has been doing. It's been nothing but pure cinema. And it's going to be so many other layers that's going to come with that. So that was one thing. Two, the NFL draft is tomorrow. So goes down, I think, in Wisconsin and Green Bay. So, of course, outside. And I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen. Of course, Travis Hunter, Shador, Shiloh, Sanders. Look forward to seeing where they're going to land. Also, locally, Luther Burden. He's a top 5 wide-out receiver. People saying that he might slide down. I don't know why. But they said that he might slide down in the rounds. I think one reason could be because of his attitude. I think we had this discussion during the season when something didn't go right. He'd just be on the bench pouting and whatever else. And, teams see that,
Really?
But yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's not having a bad attitude like that. I know you're talking about sideline. That's the camera view. But, what about the locker room? That kind of attitude is strictly coachable attitude.
I mean, I can't really answer that because I don't know what scouts look at. Of course, I'm sure that they do their research to see if this person is coachable and is a pure teammate, the whole nine. But at the end of the day, talent normally, especially in the NFL, it exceeds all. So, hell, look at Antonio Brown. When he first came out, he was he was just an amazing wide receiver. He didn't have the issues, but then I think after he had the concussion, that's when things start getting, worse with him. But teams still wanted him because they knew that he was a talent. Same thing with Tyreek Hill. He got, he be having 18 million kids and some whatever off the field stuff. But if he was a free agent, he wouldn't be a free agent for long because every team in the league wants him because they know he's that deal. And I'm not putting Luther Burden in the same boat as those guys. I'm just giving an example in regards to how talent normally in the NFL overrides the personalities. So
can I put out here real quickly for all our viewers right now? If any of you all have scout friends, or if you are a scout, please contact us. I would love to have y'all on the show because I definitely have some questions that I want to know how you scout a player. Now you're like, well, which sport? I know you scout differently. Some stuff maybe universal, some is different. So I'll take them all. Any scout. I do just have questions on how do you scout a player. Okay,
there we go. And information on bottom of the screen, platform sports talk show at gmail.com. And let us know.
Gotcha.
So that was that. Some more stuff that has my attention is CDSC and the Battlehawks. Oh my God. Joe, CDSC still can't score to save their life. Like, it is really, 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 really bad with this team. Really bad.
Who's worse? Cardinals or CDSC?
Right now, CDSC, because they can't score at all.
Cardinals can score, just not enough.
Right. or the pitching is bad. But CDSC just flat out can't score. They had a okay start because they had great goaltending, but I think Berkey's still hurt. Is that correct, Joe?
Mm-hmm. The goaltending is still not bad. What you just said.
They just can't score.
Remember, they started off the season with shutout, not shutout.
Right.
Ties. Sorry, ties. So that's
always hard to like. Every sport's so different, like soccer. A lot of times it's only 1 or 2 goals a game, regardless. You don't get games where teams are scoring 3 to 5 goals. And then baseball, I feel like 3 to 5 is like the amount of runs you kind of want. So it's all so different. But you can't be going out there and not scoring anything at all. And that's what they're doing. That's what they've done the last 2 years. So I don't know.
They did that coaching change. It didn't seem to have that much of an impact. It's more to me when I read the articles on it, and for the players they have, it's the talent. I mean, again, not trying to make a parallel here, but with the Cardinals, again, it's a talent issue we have. I'm not saying the CDSC club has a young player, which they do, but I just think that the talent's not there to be competing with these other high premier teams. As you mentioned, Smoooth, a couple years ago when they first came, remember they was whooping up on teams and winning because no one knew we were new. They didn't know how to adjust. They didn't have, a lot of footage on us. People got adjusted last year. You see the coach was gone midway through the season. New coach, some of the same personnel, and we're still in the same boat.
Yeah. So let me break this down real quick. So let's see, where is this at? Here, because their first game of the season was in February.
Mm-hmm.
So they won 3-1, then they won 2-1. Okay. So then February 22nd, they tied against Mill against Colorado. Next game, Mill against San Diego FC. Then they beat Galaxy 3-0, but then shut out against the Seattle Sounders. And then lost against Philadelphia 1-0, lost against Austin 1-0, lost against 40 KC 2-0, lost against Columbus 2-1, and just recently Mill against Vancouver. The team just can't freaking score, and it's sad. It's sad. And they have LAFC this upcoming Sunday, so it's crazy. Right now, their record is they had 9 matches so far. They have 2 wins, 4 losses, and 3 basically ties. So, yeah, it's crazy. And then on the other end, the Battlehawks, I said on the show, I think the show before the Man Cave, I said I'm liking the direction of this team because they have an offense. They got this quarterback, Manny Wilkins. He's doing his thing. He's showing out because I was at the game with it all. And I'm like, okay, the team looking good. Ever since then, they lost the very next game they played. Then last week, they were in Arlington, and Manny Wilkins out for the rest of the year due to a torn Achilles. And the offense isn't the same. And I mean, they came back this past weekend and made a game. They were down at the within the 5 yard line, basically in the goal line for a touchdown to win the game. But then the quarterback Max Dugan threw it to a receiver who has stone hands. If you don't know what stone hands mean, people, that means that if a ball is thrown to you and it's right in your hands and the ball just bounced off your hand like you can't even catch it at all. That's how bad it is. Dude had stone hands and the ball got deflected to the other team and they ran down for a touchdown to end the game. So the Battlehawks are 2-2. But it looks like it is something this guy zapped from that team because of the loss of that quarterback. So I'm not sure how they will recover. And as we discussed a while back, Bunny and Joe, that there's a lot of pressure on the Battlehawks to be successful because the league depends on the Battlehawks to be must-see TV so the fans in St. Louis can continue to show up. Because if you start seeing even more seats in St. Louis, because once again, they depend on St. Louis to be that destination. If you're starting to see less people because of the product, that's going to be a problem. And they made the announcement that officially the championship game will be once again in St. Louis. So it's a lot of pressure for the Battlehawks to be successful. And with them losing their best quarterback, man, it ain't looking too good right now.
Fred, I just think you need to stop saying things on here, positive things. you need to be bunny and be negative all the time.
I guess so.
Because whenever you're positive, bad things happen.
You know what? It's the second show on the road. Jobo has fired a lot of shots at me. Okay, just pew 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 pew. You got both guns locked and loaded. Shoot them at me, Joe. You got me too.
You've been very, very negative about some teams in St. Louis, so I just gotta call it how I see it. Smoooth had no faith whatsoever in Mizzou. Obviously, Mizzou didn't do anything, but I'm just saying, maybe if you showed a little faith, they would have won a game or something. I don't know.
Let me ask you this, because I'm showing no faith in St. Louis teams. Am I wrong, though?
I mean, I don't really see.
I hear crickets.
I'm talking. It's not crickets, but Blues exceeded everyone's expectations. We'll get to that when we get to that. Cardinals, no one should have expectations considering what they told us was going to happen. City SC going into a new year, I didn't expect anything different from last year because they just score for a whole season. That's not something that just changes with the coaching change. And then with the Battlehawks, that's the only one that I'm slightly shocked by because they're the only St. Louis team that's done something kind of positive the last couple of years, you know? So, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so to answer my question, though, it's negative, it's having negative, but where's the lie?
Where's the light?
Lie, L-I-E. Where's the lie? Even if you're saying expectations are low with the Cardinals, with the Battlehawks, the Blues literally in January were still on everybody's list, okay? So my point is for these St. Louis teams, where's the lie? Like you said, I'm negative. I'm calling it how I see it.
I know, but what I'm saying with the Cardinals part of it is why are people being extremely negative about it when we knew this was going to happen?
But me, I already had low expectations in the chat. I was telling Smoooth, I was like,
I know. I'm saying everyone
excited at the beginning of the season. I'm
saying everyone in St. Louis and everyone that supports the Cardinals should have gone into this season with no expectations whatsoever. So why be even more negative about it when there was no expectations? That's the stuff that's like there's a lot like we'll get into it with the Cardinals, but I just don't It's mind-boggling. Yeah, there's some things that are a little more frustrating than others when it comes to it, but I just don't see getting so. And I thought about this earlier. We wouldn't have a sports talk show if we didn't talk about it like this, because it changes week by week, and that's just how it is. Same thing's happening on all the sports radio shows all around St. Louis and this and that. So, but I'm just like, I can't get myself to be so negative about them if I went into the year thinking they were going to be good. If I thought they're going to be good this year, then yeah, I'd be pissed off as hell right now. But I'm not.
You're right. That's why I said, yeah, I don't get disappointed at the Cardinals because I had low expectations. And the Battlehawks, I was in. I thought they would be doing better, as you stated. The Blues, they're hot now, minus those 2 playoff losses. But like I said, up until January, hell, March technically, they were still on everybody's list too. But I do have something in my cup though, because we were talking about the Battlehawks and what has my attention. Have y'all heard the whispers or the rumors about the Cincinnati Bengals?
Yes.
And that the lease is about to expire, and that may consider relocating, and could St. Louis be on their list?
No, I've seen someone. It might have been Stan or just someone say something about that. I don't know what's going on. So fill me in.
If I'm wrong, fix it for me, producer. So long story short, the Cincinnati Bengals lease is up in their current stadium. Of course, you know what that means. Everybody wants a brand new stadium and all that bells and whistles. They're getting pushed back from either their city or county or something. They're still working on negotiations, but it hasn't been as advanced as it needs to be. Because mind you, the lease expires in 2025. Here we are, and they don't have a thing in concrete yet. But anyway, so it was, I don't know if it was a reporter or somebody, like it was 2 different outlets that I read this about, could St. Louis be a possible destination for the Bengals? Now, again, the destination as in permanent or temporary, that I don't know, Smooth. Maybe you know. And I say that as far as, let's say the Bengals finally get their stadium, would they they'll need some time to get in there and they'll play the old stadium and they go to another city to house them for a while. But anyway, but the rumors is since St. Louis could be a potential target for the Bengals to come if they the ownership cannot get their way and get a new stadium.
Don't get my hopes up that pretty boy Joe Burrow is going to be in St. Louis. Okay, don't get my hopes up.
A lot of crazy things has happened because if this is why I'm showing my age, but I was really young and I really wasn't into the NFL yet. When the league was looking for expansion in the mid 90s, when the dome was getting built, St. Louis didn't have their team secured yet. However, it was like, oh, St. Louis is going to get the team, right? It's supposed to be the St. Louis Stallions. I still remember that. And who didn't get it? St. Louis. The Jaguars was the expansion team, and I think the Carolina Panthers, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that crazy? Building the stuff before we got it because we were supposed to get it, didn't happen. Then look, a couple years later, got the Rams. So I'm not trying to give you hopes up, but stuff is said one way and then it may not happen, and something else you don't expect happen. And then 20 years later, they up and move the team anyway.
Yeah, and as Joe said, I don't have my hopes up, and Miss Doug feels the same way because it's the NFL. And they're going to probably do everything in their powers to make sure they don't go to St. Louis. They may give the Bengals, some funds to make sure that they don't go nowhere. So I don't see it happening. I can see St. Louis really trying to get more of an NBA team than the NFL team because they're done with the NFL.
I want that. You know, I've been asking, you know how many guests we've had on here, and I've asked them about the odds of St. Louis getting an NBA team. I've asked it a few times.
Yeah.
And I think the WNBA, if they do get to come here with Jason Tatum, you know, being the face of that project, definitely give us a better opportunity to get that.
Yeah. So that has our attention a whole lot right there in this time frame, but a whole lot of sports going on. Let's go ahead and get right into the NBA talk while I still have you on right now, Bunny. So as you can see right here on the screen as I bring it up, and bam, there we go. So this is as of going on to tonight's games. Got some interesting series. Others haven't been as competitive as of right now. But let's start off with the East. The Cavaliers, number 1 seed, they are up 1-0 against the Heat, and they are showing why thus far they are the number 1 seed. It was a blowout in game 1, and I personally don't see anything changing from that. What about yourself, Bunny?
Oh no, I do not. Listen, the Cavs, we haven't seen them be. I mean, technically last year they were good too. We know they weren't going to advance as far in the playoffs, but this year I see them in Boston going head to head for the conference finals. You know, we haven't had a lot of excitement since LeBron left Cleveland, and here we are. Donovan Mitchell and his crew, baby, they ready. I saw some of their game the other day. I was like, man, listen, they the real deal. They're all the way around coach great. I will say there's not going to be a sweep though. I can see the Heat taking at least 1, maybe 2, but it's not going to be a sweep.
Next, excuse me. Next matchup, you have the Pacers and the Bucks, and the Pacers have a big 2-0 lead. There were moments in both games where it was competitive, but like the Pacers were just too much over Giannis. Now, Dame did come back last night.
The second game, okay.
So he is back, but looks like as of right now, the Pacers just may be too much for the Bucks. The Bucks may end up getting the win. I can see that happening. I won't be surprised. But right now, the Pacers look to be the best team right now. For those who's watching, please feel free to give us your comments, your thoughts in regards to the playoff matchups so we can interact with you as well. Your thoughts with this matchup, Bunny?
First, I didn't realize the Pacers were this good. Like their record is good, but I didn't know they were this good as far as playing. See, with these playoffs, it does help me see more of these teams that I kind of looked over during regular season. Partially, you know, they have a very long season with 82 games. So, but it actually me see some of these players. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how y'all run it. The other thing is the Bucks. They still coached by your favorite coach, Doc Rivers. Enough said. You already know that man's track record. Y'all not been talking about him years ago, and still to this day, it didn't change. You're setting yourself up for failure. Giannis is going to be pissed when they are out in this first round. If they had a different coach, it could be different, but I doubt it. I'm just saying.
And if that does happen, do not be surprised if Giannis has to be traded from Milwaukee.
He earns it too. He earns the right. Listen, we already talked about how Budenholzer is no longer there, and he won them a championship just 2 years ago. Still mind-boggling, but you know, y'all talk about women, but y'all men getting y'all feelings, and people got difference of opinions, and you fire them. The Cardinals know about that with Schilt, and look what he's doing. Anyway, so with that, if Giannis asks to get traded, give it to him. That's not fair. You're going to stifle him trying to get another ring because you got this coach that you know is not doing the job. I wish I could have had a clip. It came out like a month or 2 ago when Giannis snatched the clipboard from off the side and drew up a play.
Yeah.
Remember that? And I'm like, damn, it's kind of that. Listen, let me ask the other squad he had that went to the conference final and couldn't get over the hump. That's when Doc had the Clippers when he had CP3, Blake. Was JJ Redick on that squad too? Yeah. I mean, his track record, he got the ring and only ring in 2008 with the Celtics. Shout out. That was a great squad. But that's past his prime. Philadelphia didn't get rid of him because they were bored. Okay. But I'm just saying I don't understand why when they call him up to be interim coach, why him? And secondly, how's he here another whole season later? Mm-hmm. To me, it's still like Milwaukee, y'all not trying to get another ring. Because why would you do that move? Hell, you see what the Suns did?
Right.
Budenholzer was there for 1 season, he's gone. And he had a championship 2 years ago. Oh, 3 now. But you know, I'm like, they're not afraid to get rid of a NBA championship coach. Why y'all keeping Doc? Come on now. Anyway.
That boy gone like NSYNC.
Okay. Hey, you ain't lying though. We are not gonna be surprised when June comes, July, when we talk about off-season trades and stuff. Giannis asking for a trade or Doc is getting the X. After they lose the series, they're probably gonna X him, but we'll see.
Let's see, Knicks and Pistons, and this is a series. I told Craig Black a few months ago, I said, watch out for this Detroit team. They ain't the same old Detroit. They, you just roll over and whatever. They finally had their first playoff win in like 20 years.
Damn,
like, yeah. So, but yeah, that team is young, but they got some veterans. They got great coaching from Bickerstaff. He's the coach of the Cavaliers. Cade Cunningham doing his thing, and they were actually able to leave out of New York by getting the win. That was huge. Going to the next game, the next two games, which is going to be in Detroit now. So a huge win. I'm not saying it's going to be a upset, but just don't be surprised because Detroit is getting better and better, and they finally got a squad. And the Knicks better take them more seriously than they have. I'll say that. Your thoughts, Bunny?
So I'm one of those people. I didn't think Detroit was going to be as good as they are. Now, I wasn't, like Craig Black. Him saying, like, oh, talk his best. No, I was sleeping on them. So thank you for bringing them to the forefront here. I do know Tobias Harris, by way of Philly, is on there, that veteran. That's making a difference. So shout out to him. This is definitely a night and day, a 180 from last season to this season, because they were well below 500. They got rid of the coach last year. What's his name? He used to.
Monty.
Monty used to be with the Suns, and I think the Thunder. They got rid. I was like, dang, only 1 year, but they made a difference. I don't know what other acquisitions of the offseason happened, but they're definitely more competitive because they got their asses whooped all last season.
Did they have like a super crazy long lose streak last year?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I remember seeing something on social media about that. I don't remember what the number was, but it was. I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
It kills me when Stan cries about the Bulls. I'm like, dude, they're not even bad. Like, Detroit was a laughing stock. That's how bad they were. He all talking about the Bulls. I'm like, no, they look good compared to the Pistons. But now, like I said, I slept on them. So shout out to them though, making it to the playoffs. Again, they don't get past this first round, but this is good. And they can grow, especially with them young boys. Because if you look, I know we're going to come to this shortly, with how OKC is built. They always young, and look what they doing. I slept on them. I knew they were good, but damn. No joke.
And then as Joe brought up last week, how just the whole sports town of Detroit has stepped up, with the Lions, the Tigers, and now the Pistons, always wait on all the Red Wings to, get better. And then, boom, you're right there. So Detroit is definitely showing up in regards to sports. Then you have the games going on right now. Boston versus Orlando. Boston is up right now in the series 1-0 and up in this game currently. Joe's other boo thing, Tatum is out right now with a wrist injury. Don't know how long he'll be out, but he's definitely out for this game tonight. But I do see at the end of the day, because Boston is a deep team, and I think they'll be fine against Orlando. Orlando, may get a victory maybe while they play in Orlando, but Boston will be, to me, just too much of a team to handle for Orlando. Let's go to the West. As you brought up, Bunny, OKC. I predicted this team to go to the finals, Bunny, and the way they're playing right now, they might go to the finals undefeated. Like, that's how good OKC is playing right now. They're looking very dominant. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and them boys are just playing on all cylinders, and you can tell that they're having fun doing it too. It's a difference when it's like, oh, it's a hard grind. Every game is no. The way they handle themselves during the game, after the game, they're just having fun. And that's something that you don't want to see if you are an opposing team in the playoffs, is who you're playing, they're having fun. That means that they're clicking on all cylinders and the game is slowed down to them. And they're all just playing as one unit. OKC is looking as dominant as a team that you've seen in the playoffs in a long time. So, and like Miss Dub said, the handling of how they've been treating poor old Memphis Grizzlies. And I said before, in regards to the karma, I just feel like with the stuff that Ja Morant has been doing, off the court, it's not saying it's his fault, but it's just that karma of what's been going on with him. And now you're seeing how bad they're getting beat in the in the playoffs. Both games been like over 20 points. I think the first game may have been a 30-point lead, but they just have not been in the game at all. So I had high hopes for Memphis Grizzlies going to the season. I was like, as long as Ja is healthy, they're gonna have a squad and be competitive. But now I'm seeing people on social media now, it's just opinions. They're not facts. They don't know what's going on. But they're like saying, shoot, I might want to trade Ja Morant, now, because maybe he's not a winner. So it's the stuff like that you're starting to see. And it make you want to be like, I wonder if that's true, that yes, he's a great player, but is he going to be that guy to help you to get over the hump? That's where the big question is. Your thoughts, Bunny?
I wouldn't trade Ja Morant. You just have to put the right pieces around him. For one, you don't need another scorer, but you need somebody that'll be up in his assets to hold him accountable on the court. So a Draymond Green type personality. You need that type of personality to make him want to do better. Like you could say, you motivate yourself, right? But he's still young, and you know how wild he is. You see that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But I just know you need a Draymond Green type personality. Some veteran to be all up on him. Don't be scared because you just start on me. Now I ain't scared of you. You better do what you're supposed to do, Right. And then put a couple other key pieces around them. Who they have now, I knew going into the season, I'm like, yeah, this is not going to be like, how they were good was it last year? And it was like, oh, okay, yeah, momentum. But they didn't do any big moves in the offseason either. So I'm like, And now you see not just OKC from the West, you see what the Rockets are doing. So these young teams are ready. Ja Morant is only one of young people, two on his team. The other squad is all young, so everybody got legs and endurance. Remember, I always tell you all, the key to playoff wins is not just, of course, your scoring. When you have to put people on the bench and keep that scoring going, who can have the endurance? That's half of the race in the playoffs. The endurance. It's a lot of mileage you play for 82 games, and then you got to add to it. Yep. But yeah, I just don't see the Memphis Grizzlies doing much throughout this last. During the rest of this round. But the GM, if he was a smart man, hopefully he is. He's making calls already, not just trades. Who y'all gonna pick up free agents? Because you want to at least keep giving Ja Morant another year. His rookie contract should expire, I think, at the next season, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 2 more years. You just want to give him a chance, at least go further to see. Okay, even if he's not the clutch player like he wants to be, he say he is. But if he's not, you can see it. If you get keep people around him, then you'll know. Okay, yeah, go ahead and trade him, or no, let's keep trying to build around him. But besides that, that I mentioned about the Rockets and the Warriors. Listen, if the still had Clay, I'm like, okay, they can give them a run for their money. The Warriors can come out on top now. Okay, that's another young squad, them boys. And I didn't think they would even get in the playoffs this season, let alone how they've been playing. I said, shit.
So
if you're under 30, watch out.
So he signed a 5-year deal back in 2022.
So he has 2 more years then.
Yeah.
So then next season, you would again in the offseason, GM need to be making calls. You got a couple more years to try to build something around him and see if it's worth it. So do some trade, do some free agency pickup. But you got to put some better pieces around him, and definitely need a Draymond Green personality to hold his behind accountable and make him do what he's supposed to do. I'm not saying on the court he's not, but again, he's young. And so sometimes, again, look at Anthony Edwards. He's good, and he is definitely the young player you want. Now, his off the court antics that you mentioned earlier about how Antonio Brown who's had so many kids? Tyreek Hill. Anthony Edwards got that issue playing out. Sometimes I figure more people talk about this court, this baby mama, other drama than his on the court stuff. Like you should have your main job as the headlines all the time, not off season. But that's that. I've been watching your Lakers with the T Wolves, so that's 1-1. I'm still not sure who's gonna win now. You tell me who you think's gonna win between T Wolves and Lakers.
I mean, y'all know where I stand there. I'm gonna always say, the Lakers. I mean, here's the thing that I've been saying. I've been stressing since LeBron went to LA is that the Lakers will go far. Now, I know that they won during the bubble year. People got questions about the bubble, and LeBron led that team. But I've always said that the less that LeBron has to do, the better it is for the Lakers. And he finally has a teammate that he can say, you know what? It is your team. Do your thing, and I'll feed off you. And that's Luka. Luka can get 30 points, get pretty much a triple-double if he wants to every game. He doesn't have to wait on LeBron. LeBron had to be the guy. As great as Anthony Davis is, you couldn't depend on AD to be that guy. So when LeBron is off the court, AD like, this is my team. Or even when LeBron on the court, this is my team. With Luka, it's his team. And they are centering or making him the focus where all the moves they're making is going to be centered around Luka. And that's the best thing for LeBron. So I do feel like the Lakers have the better team and will go on and beat the Timberwolves if they remain focused and hungry. Because the first game of the series, that was just terrible. It was like they must have still been on the beach playing around or something. They didn't even show up to the freaking not Staples, but whatever it's called right now, crypto arena. They didn't show up to that game at all. But last night, they showed why they are a 3 seed and are the better, should be the better team in this series. Which leads me to the last series. I'm sorry, no, we don't. We have the Nuggets and Clippers. That series is going to Game 7. I feel it. Those two teams are like right there. It's a reason why they are a 4 or 5 match.
Right.
They are very similar. And I can see that series going 7 games. Yeah, just the greatness of Jokic. And then, of course, Kawhi Leonard, when he's healthy, any team he's on is dangerous. Harden is actually playing in the playoffs. You got the coach of the Ty Lue. So this series, I feel like it's going to definitely go 7 games. And then this last series, Joe Bo's Houston Rockets versus my wife's Golden State Warriors. Game 1 to me was shocking. Not saying that I thought that Houston will. Well, no, I'm gonna go ahead and say I did expect Houston to come out better and win that game. And Steph Curry and them was like, do you know who I am? Do you know who we are? And with the addition of Jimmy Butler on that team, he does as great of a shooter that Klay Thompson is. Jimmy Butler brings so much more than just a jumper. He has the inside game. He has the outside game. He can be that go-to guy. He's a great defender. He brings an attitude. Like him and Draymond are like the perfect match for each other. And it allows Steph Curry. Now, same thing that happened with Klay. You know what I'm saying? Klay can take over a game, but Jimmy Butler just has more in his arsenal than Klay. Because let's say if Klay started missing threes, then he's not really useful because he's cold. But Jimmy Butler can rely on just going to the hole, taking you one-on-one. So he can still find ways to score. So it helps out Steph Curry. It makes Draymond Green's job, that much easier as well. So now it has to be like, oh, man, does Houston have enough to beat Golden State? And I'm not confident that they do at this point. Now, Could be wrong because, as we said before last week, Bunny, Ube Udoka, hell of a coach. I want to, and they play tonight. Matter of fact, they up next.
Yeah, I want to next.
So I want to see what happens tonight and see the adjustments that's being made. Steph Curry has always been a liability when it comes to defense. You have to utilize that. You have to play on that. But the thing is that Golden State and the way they play, other guys can step up and create moments. Go ahead, Bunny.
But when you said Steph has always been a liability because of defense, that's what we feel about Luka and the Lakers. Luka don't play defense. This is nothing new. A few people, Harden, I've been saying that. And everybody knows that. But I'm just saying, so when you said a liability, yes, but it doesn't stop. Yeah, I don't know how to say this. I should say that to stop anything because clearly you need defense to stop your opponent. But I think that's incorporated into game plans for these good coaches. If that makes sense. Because, again, we're saying liability still, but when he had Clay, same thing. Now, you're saying Buckets does more than Clay, true. But I don't know. I just see how the Rockets are playing. We'll see. The verdict's still out. That's all I can say. We'll see.
Yeah. So that's the NBA talk right there. Right now, I saw that Miami is beating Cleveland is beating the Bulls right now by almost 30 points. So I'm sorry, that's in the Bulls. Cleveland is beating Miami Heat. My bad.
You got me
right
all
now.
messed up,
What's in your cup? What is in your cup?
Right. And I don't even have anything tonight. You know what I'm saying? I just have this ice water. I'm trying to be good. But
Mario not there.
Cleveland is beating Miami Heat right now by 30 points. So like I said, it's not looking good at all for the Heat. But once again, that is the NBA talk. And I know, Bunny, that you got to go ahead and get about this thing.
You see that hand again? No, she just went away. I can't wait till Joe Bo when Clark gets a little older. I just want to see if the dynamics are similar or am I in an anomaly with these two.
Guess we'll see. We will see.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. Well, yeah, Bunny, any last words before you have to go ahead and depart?
I hope not to keep my negative streak up so Joe Bo doesn't fire shots at me in a couple of weeks. So we shall see. We shall see.
We'll see how ladies' night goes.
Exactly. I mean, again, all I can say is I don't like being negative Nancy. I like being buoyant Bunny. But when the product is not reflecting that, you change how we have a show because everybody's not going to do everything that's smooth sailing. Smooth 3-0 smooth, Not all going to be smooth sailing. So.
All right, well, 2 weeks is a long time in the baseball world, I guess, or a week and a half, whatever. So we'll see what happens by ladies' night.
Yes, we shall see. We shall see, LGB, yes, we're still playing, right?
I hope so.
Okay. Let's see. That would be positive Patty for you. And hopefully we can say, oh, snap, the Cardinals finally swept okay, that's too much. The Cardinals finally got 2 out of 3. Okay.
I mean, see, playing at home isn't a problem.
It's
the road.
It's playing on the road.
It's the road.
I bet we beat the Mets and the Braves at home this year.
Yeah, because I think the Mets come in town next week.
And the Brewers does too, right?
Yeah, it's early May because we're going to the May 4th game. And so, yeah, early May.
Yeah, I'm ready to go to that game myself too if I don't have nothing else going on. So I got to check my calendar, Bunny.
Put an asterisk because you got something going on, but you're sticking it around. You already know, Smooth. I don't know why you even let those words come out of your mouth.
That's why I say I got to check my calendar now because I'm talking too soon.
It's already booked. All right, look, Jamie probably knows some of your calendar in her sleep because she knows it's something she's going to have to attend with you or be a prompt or fill in for another DJ. Listen, you ain't never not busy on a weekend, right. Especially. What else? Let's see. 2 weeks from now, Joe Bo, my prediction about the Battlehawks. We're going to get a win. We'll have a win. We will. Now the City SC.
Can we score?
Yeah, all right. Over under 2 goals in the next 2 weeks for City SC.
Okay.
2.5.
Okay, we'll see. I'll say we'll get a win within 2 weeks. And the last pardon comment about earlier, Luther Burden, the draft. Where will he fall? And we'll definitely know this by tomorrow, but he'll still be top 10. That's my final thought.
All right, so right now I do have an opening to watch the Mets at Cardinals on Friday.
Joe Bob, by this Friday, somebody's gonna contact him and it's gonna be booked. I guarantee it. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna tell you, fool, you ain't going to that game. How much you want to bet?
Let's see here.
Better buy them tickets right now.
Yeah. Shout out to the Blues for moving that playoff game to Sunday so we can go to see Cat Williams on Saturday. Woo-hoo.
Oh yeah, because Cat Williams was like, hell no, man, I ain't eat. I will not be moving my seat. I might not be moving my concert for no Blues hockey team.
Why do you do that too good? I don't get it. You practice that in the mirror.
Oh.
They start laughing. That's so silly.
Oh
Okay. Well, I get my final thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. It's been fun. I gotta run. Hopefully,
all right. See. Oh yeah, the wife is laughing at you, Bunny, in regards to my calendar of events.
Just saying, she is a great feeling and a great co. All the hats you wear, co at what you do. So co DJ, she's a great co MC person. She's a great co photographer, co t-shirt maker, co producer. Okay, Jamie, no, I know that, bro. When you be the wife of somebody that's busy, you like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So actually, I have availability as of right now on Friday the 2nd and the 3rd. So
okay,
we'll see what's happening. But I want to see Lindor, want to see Soto, and of course the
Polar
Cardinals.
bear.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we'll see. Should be and every Friday night at every Friday home game.
Yeah, I saw that.
They have the City Connect jerseys on too. So
okay, maybe that should be a Mother's Day gift. I should ask that and a stunt double. Yeah, put the request in and see what happens.
A stunt double.
right.
Is it Mother's Day? Yeah, girl. Oh, man, I ain't gonna know how to act. Okay. I'll be all positive, Pat. You ain't gonna never hear anything negative out of me, Jobo.
You were negative on Sunday. The Lord is risen, and you were all negative on Sunday.
Actually, no, I wasn't. I was actually after.
Or wait, it was Saturday. I can't remember. One of your days you were negative.
She can't
Say one of them days.
Right, yeah, one of them.
Yeah, Stanton was like, it's Easter weekend, and you were negative.
That's because that was Saturday because I had to take a nap. I knew it. But Sunday it worked though, because Sunday after church it was cool, relaxed, girl. Resurrection Day was awesome. Then here come back reality just like that. I was off from work on Monday. That helped too. So now I'm back working. Anyway. But yeah, we shall see.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh Lord.
Tell him I'm gonna tell Baker Mayfield on him. All right, Bunny, you have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bunny.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
All right, so it is now just Smooth and Jobo. Jobo, I'm about to let you cook just like I just did with hockey. I'm sorry, with basketball. I'm gonna have you go ahead and do that with hockey and talk about the Blues and the NHL playoffs, because now I have on the screen the bracket, what's going down right now. So let's talk about it, Jobo, your thoughts in regards to the NHL playoffs.
So right now, I'm gonna save the Blues for last, but it's crazy is that the Kings and the Oilers are playing each other in the first round 3 years in a row now. That's wild to me. But usually the Oilers win that series, but the Kings won game 1. Golden Knights and the Wild, that's just some fast-paced hockey. Same thing with the Stars and the Avalanche, and those two are tied 1-1. Over in the Eastern Conference, Maple Leafs, it just looks too easy for them. Going up against the Senators. And then you have the Lightning and the Panthers, the Battle of Florida or whatever they call it. Um, Matthew Tkachuk came back and he had 2 goals last night, and he just looks like he never left. So, so they took game 1. Capitals, they took game 1, and Ovi doing Ovi things. He had his first ever overtime playoff goal in game
Ain't
1.
that crazy?
That's wild to me. But yeah, I mean, he had a goal. I think he had the first goal of the night, and then yeah, overtime winner. And then Hurricane and Devils. That one just the games haven't really felt that close either with that one. And Carolina leads 2-0. And then we'll just talk about the Blues. They're down 2-0 as well. It just compared to the Hurricanes being up 2-0 and the Maple Leafs being up 2-0, I feel like our series seems a little closer than theirs.
It is, because it seemed like to me like they're right there. They're like right there from like, getting that, keeping the lead. But then an issue like you brought up in a post or a tweet the other day was, where's the shots on goal? And
in the third period, mainly,
especially in the third period, like all of a sudden, Hellebuck, he could be sitting down in a beach chair and not even have to worry about being a goalie because we can't even penetrate past the Winnipeg defense. And that's the bad part about it. And something else I want to say, we see already the talent of Snuggerud.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be a focal point and making sure that he's in the right positions to use that shot. Because if he uses that shot more than he has, it's a very high chance that he's going to beat a Hellebuck at the goal. The goalie. He needs to have opportunities to just snipe away, keep on going, and he can't do that if, like you said before on X, if the Blues keep passing the puck around and passing it and not shooting the puck. We need to highlight him to be the focal point and like, hey, kid, put it on the net and let your talent take over, because that's what this team is needing, is to have a very talented scorer, have opportunities to score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if Robert Thomas is 100% right now. I know Jamie Rivers mentioned it as well, and so you need someone to help out, with the scoring, and hopefully Snuggy's one of those guys that can. Parayko's probably not 100% either, and I'm not trying to make excuses because the Jets are the President Trophy winner. They're the best team in the NHL. I think they have the best home record in the NHL. So like obviously the Jets are just a good team. But I mean, I do think for sure Parayko's not 100%, but I was telling a coworker that Parayko at 50% is better than no Parayko at all, I think.
Right.
But yeah, just trying to get more shots on net is just get someone in front of the net and just shoot the puck. Like, so right now, I don't think we have a single 5-on-5 goal. We got 3 power play goals. Well, we're batting 500 in power plays, but you're going to have to be batting 1,000 if you're not going to score 5-on-5, and like the first 2 games, the first game you had 2 power play goals, and then the second game you had the 1 power play goal with Snuggy, and the ones after that, they just weren't getting shots off, and they're just passing it and passing it and passing it. I'm like, I just don't know what they're doing because you scored on 3 of them. So what's changed? But game 1, it was kind of like they just sat back and tried to protect the lead and saw what happened after that. I mean, it's just in like Kyle Connor, he can't be sitting right in front of Bennington like he did the other night.
Right.
That can't happen. He's got 5 playoff goals against us in 8 games. Like and in the regular season he kills us too. You can't have that guy just standing there waiting to shoot the puck. And that's what happened. So I'm hoping the couple days off, get the guys rested up, and we got a pretty good home record as of late as well, so hopefully we can at least just get it back to a game 5, get the St. Louis fans something to cheer for, and get it back to Winnipeg. But we'll see. I think they're closer than what it, like I said, what the Maple Leafs and the Hurricane series are, because those ones, they're just kind of skating all over them.
Yeah, I agree. Just need to have a few things be better, especially just attacking the goalie Hellebuck. You do that.
And they need a hit, man. The Jets
Yeah.
are out hitting us right now, and I don't like that. Like, where's Nathan Walker at? Torchenko can hit. Oh, why am I blanking right now? There's so many other guys on our team that can Shen. He can hit more. I just don't know where the hits are at right now. That makes sense because, like, game one, you looked at a guy the wrong way and you're getting a power play. You're going on the penalty for it. And then I don't know if you've seen last night, the Senators and the Leafs, the goalie was literally just punching a Senators guy in the head and no calls were made. So it's just like, I don't know. But playoff hockey, unless it's like blatant, you should not be calling penalties. We want to see the guys play.
Right.
So hopefully tomorrow night, vibes are nice and high, and we bring home a winner and make it a series. I just don't want to see it. I just don't want to see us like get swept or something. That's the one thing I don't want to see. But you got to think, these guys have been playing playoff hockey for 2 months now. So they're exhausted. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. So our last topic, Cardinals, and this is a question that I asked you on X, and I really want to kind of bring up to the forefront because you did say a few things earlier in the show to Bunny about the Cardinals and how certain players, they have this way, they have, their slow periods or their slumps, the whole nine. But we have seen a lot of the same inconsistencies from certain players. And I just want to bring this out to the forefront for those watching. Please leave comments, let us know your thoughts. But if we're still seeing these same players year after year after year still have the same issues where, okay, Nolan Gorman, he'll have a moment where he's hitting a ball like a beach ball out the park, but then he's looking at a ball as if it's a golf ball and he can't hit and make contact. Then he's stuck in a slump for like the next 3 weeks or whatever it is. Jordan Walker, as you brought up, he'll have a spurt where he's doing good, then he kind of goes back to his old routine. Granted, it may be because of the umpires and the inconsistency with regards to that, but then you're still doing certain things even outside of that. So is it really the coaching that's the issue? That they're not being coached right? Because as you heard in the offseason, they brought in, new hitting coach. They brought in more guys to help in regards to certain aspects of players' games. So they're bringing in more people, but then yet you're seeing one moment, oh, he hitting line drives, oh, he's making contact, and then next minute he can't find the ball to save his life. So is it on the coaching, or should the blame be more so on the players for losing what they're being taught or not being consistent?
I mean, it's always going to be more so on the actual human itself because they're the one that's doing or not doing it, I mean, I think with the Cardinals right now, we've seen early on that the hitting coach has made a difference. Yeah, the Mets series and today they didn't score a lot, but that's 4 or 5 games right there. The rest of the year we've been scoring plenty of runs, and I think I've been seeing it with almost everyone. Guys that made improvements all over the place, but it's easy if you barely move your hands down or barely move your foot back. That just throws off everything. And so, I mean, I just think it happens to everyone in the league, even the best of the best. The best players, Ohtani and Judge, slump. I just think, like I said last week, we were going into New York, and the Mets had the best rotation in baseball. And still, right now, they have the best rotation in baseball, and they have like the 3rd best bullpen. And we just happen to suck on the road so far. So it was like 2 things that just didn't go hand in hand. But I don't know. I think it could be both. But again, it's the human being that's out there doing it. So it probably lays more on the actual human in the box, before you actually blame the coach. And in St. Louis, that tends to happen a lot, blaming the hitting coach and blaming the manager and stuff. So it's time to start blaming. I don't even want to say blame, but it's time to start pointing fingers at the hitter, the guy that's trying to do everything himself.
And I agree. I have to say that the Cardinals organization, yeah, they were reactive and not proactive, but they finally got to the point where they like I said before, you're bringing in more people, more guys to instruct on certain things. But as you brought up earlier, Joe, it is about the player taking it all in. And just because one thing happened wrong, it doesn't mean all of a sudden now you're out of whack and you can't get it back. No, stay the course and watch things work out for you. When and I keep using him as an example, but that's just who comes to my mind. But Nolan Gorman, yesterday he what was 2 out of 3 or had 3 hits, something like that last night, hitting the ball everywhere. But then today, men in scoring position, striking out. I think he had like 2 strikeouts, and it was like at crucial times. And so it's like it's the off and on thing, and it's like as a professional player, it is about being consistent, especially if they want to play you and bat you in the third hole where that's a position where they're expecting some damage, but they can't depend on you if you're not being consistent. I know you can't be consistent, make contact every at bat, but it just can't get to a point where multiple times in the game where you're liable to strike out. No matter how much power you have, you just can't do that when you're in a certain position. And being a professional, I can't say that I am in regards to sports, but being in a professional, having a professional business or being in a professional mindset, consistency does matter. And if you want this result, you have to hone in and do what it takes. And then, Joe, I think about Jordan Kyrer. Remember how the last couple of years everyone was on him about not doing this, not doing that, not doing this. But now, granted, early in the year, he did have some good success with Drew Bannister, but like it just took off when Jim Montgomery got in. So it's like you kind of torn because, like, well, maybe Marmol. And it's the issue with the you brought up front office, but that was more so regards to pitching. But well, a lot of other things as well. So at the end of the day, to me, the player really, if you really want to be successful, you have to be more consistent. You have to find out what is going on with their game and what can you do to be more consistent and help your team to win. Because if you do that, it's a very good chance that this team could be definitely over 500 if we have more consistency from these players. You brought up about people shouldn't get mad about having how this team is playing right now because of the low expectations. As I said before, I just want to see these players progress from year to year.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like we can't be upset about stuff, but I'd like this. People are like on X calling for the heads of coaches and managers and players and stuff like that. And you know how crazy people are is they complain and complain and complain about Miles Michaelis. Then you had all of X today saying, "Hey, Ali should have left Miles Michaelis in for one more inning to face the lineup for the third time."
Right.
You know how asinine that sounds?
Right.
All you guys do is complain about Miles Michaelis. You want him out of here, release him, and now you're like, "Oh, we should have kept him in longer." Like, come on, that can't happen. Like there's certain things I can blame Ali for, and then there's things like that I can't do it. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not the biggest Ali fan in the world. I think I've made that known on this show plenty of times, but when it comes to something like that, and again in a transition year where we're just seeing what we have, I mean, the thing that comes to mind right now, and it's coming with your consistency talk, is I don't think the lineup for Saturday against Senga, putting Gorman in there was not a smart thing because he has the fork ball and you batted him third. That was just silly. Maybe you just wanted to see if he could do it. I don't know. But that right now is like the only thing that I've had like a big issue on with something like that. I feel like you set him up to fail there. But maybe that's something they've come to agreement on before the season started. Hey, we're going to put Gorman in these situations, and see what we got type thing.
And something else I want to bring up too, in regards to the lineup, is like how we all saw. Now he is doing better, but how we all saw the start of the season where Wilson Contreras had a slow start, and it took him to continue to dig his own hole, and then you move him down a little bit, and then after one good game, they're like, oh, he's back. So now you put him right back up to the top 2 spot. To me, I just feel like let him show more consistency that he's fully back by keeping him lower in the lineup until we like, okay, now he's there. Don't just have one good game and then all of a sudden put him right back up to the 2 spot where we know he's not all the way there yet. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying don't play him at all, but just be smarter with how you're trying to put out your best nine. Because isn't that the goal? Every game is to put out your best lineup. It's not about okay, he just had one good game, and now all of a sudden, if he had 3-4 home runs, okay, that's a great game. Okay, go ahead, second spot. But it just in regards to don't just get so happy with okay, he had a hit. Also, now he's back. No, let's see how he does over a span of games. Maybe he's in the 5 hole for a minute. Even with Arenado, he's not the same person no more. That's just
I think it's in like his contract or something that he can't bat lower than 4. Which I'm curious if I saw Jake from Talking
State
Baseball.
Farm. No, I was playing.
Yeah, Jake from State Farm. As I saw that he's like saying, I can see the Phillies, by the deadline trade for Nato and then bat him 7th. And like, don't get me wrong, in that lineup, yeah, but does Nato have a say in that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, seeing Nato bat in the 7th would be so freaking wild.
I mean, cause like, isn't Goldie batting first for the Yankees?
He's batted first and cleanup.
Okay, but I mean, it just their teams are doing what is needed for that player on how they're batting. If they know that you're not consistently hitting for power, you can't be hitting in a power position. You just can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Right now, Arenado is hitting kind of similar, but he's getting more results. He's similar to freaking Jordan Walker, but he's getting more results in regards to the ball is going through. You know what I'm saying? So he has a respectable average, but he's not a long ball threat right now. That's just how it is. And it may not even come back. So you can't keep having him be in a prime position. Now, if he's batting, a little bit lower, or maybe even batting a little bit higher, I would even say the 2 spot, okay? Because at least he's getting on base somehow, but it's not in regards to bringing power. Just don't keep him in the same spot where he's not being productive in regards to power. But then at the same token, who else on the team is really bringing power? That's
yeah. I mean, I think until you get
so many layers going on, Joe.
Yeah, until you get Herrera back, I mean, I don't think you could really put your best lineup out there anyways,
Right.
And Donnie's apparently like his rib was poking. I don't know. Something about his rib was misplaced, and
right,
because he was hitting the ball all over the place, for a week or so. So we'll see. I mean, every team, like I said with the Blues, every team's dealing with injuries, though, So just see if you can get Herrera back, Donnie feeling good, and pepper into JC here and there if you can. Which I didn't get to watch the whole game today with appointments and stuff, but did JC get a start or no? I didn't see the lineup or anything. Okay.
He didn't start.
Yeah, I saw the end of the game. the fun part, and that was that. But
And
yeah.
that leads me to this because Burleson, now he did have 2 or 3 hits today, but like even his power has been zapped.
Well, his power's been gone since the All-Star break last year.
Right. Right.
But even this year, he hasn't really hit as much. And like you said, I think last night and today he had some hits. But yeah, I'm not really sure why he just keeps getting consistent at bats. I don't know. I really don't know. I do recommend people though listening to the Gas House game, and on Tuesdays, Ali Marmol's on there, and it's Ackerman, Chris Ranji, and Bernie Michaelis. They ask him questions, and as you guys know, Bernie Michaelis is not afraid to ask tough questions and hound you. So they asked them all about the bullpen yesterday, and then that's another one is like I can't disagree with what Ollie's doing because he's using what he has. Right now you got Leahy, who's been really good, Maton's been good, and Helsley has been okay. Other than that, you got a bunch of dudes that just
ain't doing it.
They were great last year. Thank you for last year, but they're just not getting it done right now. It's a team effort of JoJo going in and putting runners on base or tying the game, and then Fernandez giving it up, or vice versa. Right. Like the other night when JoJo came in, first pitch, sac fly, tied game. Second pitch, home run, they win the game. And it was so frustrating because we scored like 4 runs against Iglesias in the top of the 9th to make it close. But and like Ali said, there's not much to even use down in Memphis right now. The only thing I can think of is send Ryan Fernandez down, get him right, and bring Riley O'Brien up or bring Roycroft back up. Like those are your options right now because you don't want to put McGreevy in the bullpen.
Nope.
He's a starter, and I agree with them putting Libby in the rotation because as you can see, Libby's looked pretty damn good so far. So it's like you don't know what to do. That they just don't have arms to use. I don't know, and it's funny is because last year I think it was I wasn't high on the bullpen, but I was high on the rotation.
Right.
And the bullpen exceeded, and the rotation was kind of just meh. Going into this year, it's like okay, same guys in the bullpen, and there was some guys like Leahy and Roycroft. Why not? Why would this bullpen not be good? And now the rotation looks like it's pretty decent, and the bullpen's ass. So and it sucks because you only made one move this offseason, and it's because you were forced to make a move because you're the only team in Major League Baseball that didn't make a move. So, and like David Robertson's still out there. He's still just a free agent. Well, why have we not picked him up yet? Tristan McKenzie just got DFA'd by the Guardians. Go get him. Put him in the bullpen if you have to. Like right now, you just need arms to help you get a couple wins. Like it's been brutal to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's tough. It's tough, man. We're gonna see how things play out as they come back home. They off tomorrow. Then they play against the Brewers, and then once again the Mets coming up. Then I think the Reds. So. Whole lot of baseball, of course.
As you said, the Mets before. Right after the Brewers series.
Yep. Because I'm looking here now. Brewers 3 games, and then you got the Mets 3-game series.
Like if we win those 2 series at home, I'm be happy, but I'm be annoyed.
Hold on. Let me check one thing. Cause I think that we actually are. Let's see. Okay, I'm wrong. So after the Brewers series. We go to Cincinnati for 3, then we come back home and play the Mets.
Okay, well, we'll see. I mean, Cincy, it's always tough playing in that ballpark. But yeah, if we win the series against the Brewers at home and win the series against the Mets at home, and say we only win 1 against the Reds or something, I'm flabbergasted. I don't know. I don't get it. Like Ali said yesterday, he's like back in 23. Everyone was pointing at we couldn't win the first game of the series. Remember that?
Yep.
They couldn't win the first game of the series, and he goes, and once we did that, then people found something else to complain about. And it'll happen, but we got to win more than one road game in a series, like on a road series.
Yep. So with that being said, everyone, that is our show. Make sure y'all tune in next Wednesday for the Man Cave, where anything, and I mean anything, can go down. Make sure y'all once again support Smoooth Conversations Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be going live tomorrow night. Check it out on YouTube, Smoooth Conversations, Smoooth the 3 O's, and also on Beat District Radio, beatdistrictradio.com, or go to the Google Play or App Store and just put in Beat District Radio. In regards to the Sports Talk Show, give us a follow all across social media. Just put in the platform Sports Talk Show, and you're welcome. Also, you're listening to us on Hot 365 Radio, where it's always hot. Catch the most recent shows on Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, download the app on Google Play and the App Store as well. It is your Wednesday night Sports Delight. Your boy Smoooth, along with. Where'd she go? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute.
Joe.
Now say it. My bad.
Joe.
There we go. Y'all have a wonderful rest of y'all evening. We out this thing.
What you have just experienced was brought to you by Smoooth Productions. Until next time, stay tuned and stay smooth.